Hello again. Welcome to my wife's channel. This is a short little video about putting up some trusses on our shop build. Um, I've scoured the internet for doing this, and basically you can get a crane, you can get a bunch of guys, all sorts of ways. But I thought we'd try this novel approach. It's just my wife and I doing this. And I had a drywall lift that I used in the basement development, so its capacity is about 150 pounds. The trusses themselves, other than the two end ones, which have a little extra bracing and backing, about 100, 120 pounds or so. So the capacity of the lift is about 150 pounds. So felt pretty safe doing that. Again, this is just a video on what we did. If you want to try this, it's at your own risk. Um, give it a shot if you like. And anyways, here we go. So my wife and I are doing this garage. It's 20 by 30. And we've got 17 trusses to put up, 2 foot on center. Garage is 30 feet long. We had beautiful weather, nice flat surface, as you can see. So this thing rolled around pretty good. With the lift itself, it's rickety. It's got a tripod, 3 wheels. So you got to be cautious with anything on construction. And you can also see that we had some scaffolding on both sides, courtesy of the builder of our house. They let us use these two scaffold chunks for as long as we wanted for free. So that is an extra cost. And I'd encourage anyone who tries this to have some scaffolding. Probably do it off ladders, but you probably need a third person, I would say. We didn't have that, so there's a lot of up and down on these scaffolds. So basically, I got a couple of 2x4s added on top of that for the trusses. You can see them on the lift itself. Use a couple of zip ties and some tape to keep them there. Yeah, I know it's rickety, but at the end of the day, it fucking worked and nobody got hurt. We just took our time. Again, we weren't in a time crunch at all, and we just slowly wheeled it around and made it work. When I started the very first truss closest to the house, we did have some 2x4 old scraps as outriggers up vertically along the wall. So when we flopped that first truss down, it wouldn't flop all the way over. And nailed that, braced it, and then put in blocking from it so the other trusses could stack into it and secure in place 24 inches on center. You can see it slowly maneuvering this into place. You can see that I laid out my 24 on center using the hurricane ties there. And that way I didn't have to fart around with my spacing once the truss got up. It just slotted right in there. And then I could secure the corners of the truss as we went. This is a 9/12 pitched roof, so they're pretty tall trusses. Couldn't lean up ladder up against that, so you can see me blocking it there. And I do screws, and then later on I went around, put in permanent bracing using normal spikes, galvanized. Yeah, I'm not using too much safety gear here. Again, this is my build, my risk, and up to you guys if you want to try this out. Towards the end, we ran out of space to maneuver the trusses around within the garage or the shop. So what I'm doing here is just putting in some bracing for a cross piece, because we're going to stack up the remainder of the trusses and then slowly slide them into place. Worked out fine. And you can see again, closer view of the lift with a couple extra 2x4s to hold the truss in place. Yeah, I got a hard hat on. That's because I was bonking my head. If that truss fell at that weight, helmet probably not going to do a lot. But anyway, my good wife is there helping out, maneuver this thing around. A little bit of wind, not too bad. And our first truss got stacked, and we just went along the way. You can see the trusses in the background. We lifted those between the two of us quite easily. For the 2x4 that I used at the peak of the trusses, it was a long 12 footer, I think, just to tip them up. You'll see it later on. I used the power drive construction screw. It's like a big bolt. Drilled a hole in the end of that 12 footer. You'll see it in a second here for the very last piece. That way you can pivot easily when I tip the tip up. So here we are on the scaffold. You can see that she's holding it right now. I'm just setting it on the wall. You can't see it from this view here, but there is a slot at the base of that truss is going to go into, so it doesn't kick out on us and slide down the wall. And there it is, lifted into place. And then we put it in the slot a little bit at a time, one side and then the other. And we maneuvered it in there between the two of us quite well. My wife was a little freaked out, but she's a trooper. And there it wanted to fly away on us. My instructions to her was run to the end of the scaffolding if this thing decides to go. And there it goes, sets into that slot. I was pretty good as far as left to right. It was lined up with the exterior wall as well. And I'm just finishing a little bit of bracing there until I can put the permanent bracing in there. Again, I used construction screws so I can take them out later and permanently nail in my final bracing. Yeah, it went off without a hitch. Everything was nice and square. Once the roofers came up there, they were happy. Local company, bunch of Mennonites, fantastic people. Got the roof on, or the shingles on there for us, because that's a pretty steep pitch. There you can see I'm just putting in the bracing, temporary bracing at this point with the screw gun. And there's your finished product. Hope you guys enjoyed, and might see you on another one. Talk about some politics and shoot the shit maybe. All right, take care.